league, we shooting at two different baskets. As a matter of fact, we pay two kinds of taxes. I mean, this dude says stuff like that. So when I'm moving...
Yeah, it's funny that I'm...
After they are done with Diddy, Jay-Z is up next to be exposed.
No suits, no jokes, no smoothing game show host energy. Just a man with a heavy look in his eye, sitting across from a stunned interviewer speaking words nobody expected to hear. I knew her back when she was a child, he said. I tried to help, I really... Diddy wastes talking about Beyoncé. But this wasn't some sentimental memory from the 90s or a throwback nod to Destiny's Child rehearsals in Houston garages. This was a warning, a confession, a glimpse in Toa past that, if true, could reform everything we thought we knew about the Queen of Pop and her elusive kingpin of according to Harvey.
For a long time. I've known Beyoncé since she was 14.
Oh my God.
She used to come and sing at the hip-hop comedy stop in Houston.
He saw it early. The way young Beyoncé, bright-eyed and golden-voiced, slowly drifted into Jay-Z's orbit, not by accident, not by fate, but by design. He had a plan, Harvey allegedly told insiders. And she was the key. Back then, she was still a teenager with powerhouse vocals and a future built on discipline, not drama, but Jay-Z, he was already a legend, making and not just in music. Amateur manipulator, if whispers are too bebble. A man who allegedly saw in Beyoncé not just talent, but leverage, and as the years passed, that leverage would harden into a bond so tight even Simeone, as connected to Steve Harvey, couldn't crack it. I tried to pull her out, he said reportedly. But, on the hour in Jay's web, you don't just walk away. And what a web it is. Not just music mogul empire. Not just Rock Nation or the 40/40ths Club or the sprawling network of Heil friends woo him favors. We're talking layers of legal insulation, layers of media control, a fortress built on power and fair. This isn't tabloid fantasy. It's public record that Jay-Z pled guilty to stabbing record producer Lance Rivera in a Manhattan nightclub. He's openly admitted to running substances on Thess Street as a teen. He shot his...
I have to still say allegedly, has done things and allegedly participated in a lot of things that the public would not be happy to know.
Own brother. That's not rap bravado, that's confession. But somehow, over the years, these incidents faded into trivia while his image polished into that of a billionaire family man. All the while, rumors piled up her fame shielded him. Her silence protected him. Or maybe, just maybe, she didn't have a choice, because let's look at the patterns. When allegations surfaced about Jay-Z's connection to the perturbing civil lawsuit, involving a 13-year-old and an after-party in the early 2000s, the language from his team was swift. Blackmail, shakedown, ridiculous. But it wasn't just the denial, it was the machinery that kicked it in. Media outlets suddenly walked back their headlines. His lawyers moved fast to unmask the plaintiff. And Beyoncé, she stayed silent. No tweets, no statements, just another flawless outfit, another tour stop, another carefully curated photo dump of family bliss. But now there's talk, quiet, but growing, that she may be more trapped than loyal. A former industry insider said the whispers about Blue Ivy's birth being more than just a joyful family mint have persisted for years. That phrase contractual birth keeps resurfacing in hushed conversations bend velvet ropes. The idea that Blue arrival wasn't just about love or doming, but about sealing something deeper, a long-term bond, a lifetime clause, a pact we don't...
After that major documentary comes out on Diddy, then you're going to start to hear more and more about Jay-Z and his nefarious past.
Don't know what was agreed upon or with whom, but this suggestion is chilling. Beyoncé wasn't just building a family, she wasn't coring herself permanently to a mentor. According to one high-profile lawsuit, used his influence to orchestrate horrifying acts behind Simone, as mainstream, as money safe, as brand clean, as Steve Harvey. Starts speaking this plainly. Something's not right. Harvey's no internet blogger chasing clout. He's a network icon, a long-standing corporate Tefrianly face who doesn't stir the pot unless the stove's already on fire. So, if he says he saw things, if he says who earned her, then the question becomes, what didn't we see? And how long has Beyoncé been it? Forget the timing. Allegations against Jay-Z and Diddy merged in waves with lawsuits describing parties that sounded more like coordinated entrapments than industry celebrations. Non-disclosure agreements, spiked drinks, a list witnesses who looked away. One lawsuit, as far as claiming
10 years ago, they say this was a party for Diddy's son, King Combs, but all the names involved here are huge. Talking Beyoncé, Jay-Z, LeBron James. Now, all of those people are just witnesses, according to this lawsuit.
The girl washed down while Jay-Z and Combs took turns while a known celebrity won. This isn't rumor. This is what's being alleged in court filings. Jay-Z called it a shakedown. Diddy Steam called it nonsense. But these lawsuits don't file themselves. And people don't sue media titans on a whim, knowing full well they're going upright. In the middle of it all stands Beyoncé, or is she hiding? More than one media insider has pointed out her calculated silence. When Diddy was arrested in New York, when over a dozen lawsuits began raining down on his name, and when connections started being drawn between his network of loyalty and Jay-Z's own empire, the Carters zipped their lips. No Instagram posts, no press releases, no denials, even just nothing. The silence is loud. One source close to Wintoch said bluntly, "They're going to keep quiet. They don't want to implicate themselves." That's a word that hits different. Implicate. And the theory shaven't stop.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Diddy, aka Mr. Love. Now, Dr.
No,
Love,
Sean Carter.
They've only evolved. Uncle Ron, the late former bodyguard of Diddy, dropped what some call one of the most unsettling videos of 2023 before his untimely and mysterious passing. In it, he claimed Beyoncé was being kept on substances intentionally. "You keep her that way," he said. Why would anyone say that about the most disciplinator form of our time? And why would Abedagard risk it all to go public on Lido Vanish days? Later, Diddy wanted Biggie out of the picture. He wanted to leave Bad Boy. He said who was tired of being used. The implication being loyalty has an expiration date. And in these circles, disloyalty might have consequences. None of this has been confirmed. And yet, if you follow Thimone, the silence, the power plays, something feels off. What if Steve Harvey was right? What if he saw it all brewing decades ago? The manipulation, the grooming, once a bright Houston prodigy rehearsing in church halls, is now bound to a machine she can't escape? A machine built not on love, but on secrets and slants. If even Steve Harvey couldn't break her free, what does that say a Booth force she's truly up against, and could she ever break free? And if we...
I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than everyone and never won Album of the Year. So even by your own metrics, that doesn't work.
Follow the thread from there. It pulses straight into the heart of something colder. Beyoncé didn't just rise to the top. She was launched, catapulted, perfected like a product. One former stylist called her early career choreographed to the millimeter. Not just the dances, the words, the clothes, the image. They made her untouchable. A former label consultant once said off record, but who is they? And what did it take to become the most controlled, the most flawless woman in music history? Years now, whispers of induction rituals shave haunted certain corners of fine dust, not the staged hazing or media boot camps we're used to. No worry talking about something else. Off books, off camera. The kind of alleged ceremonies where the guest list ice-locked and the consequences are a lift-along. Some claim these elitic gatherings are designed to others say they serve as symbolic contracts, ties that bind you to the powers behind the curtain. The people who make or break careers with a phone call. And guess who's been rumored to attend at least one of these events? According to an assistant, who worked briefly on the production team for a major New York gala in the mid-
It was the ultimate high society scandal. The beatdown of one of New York's most famous bad boy rappers by
200s. Beyoncé arrived late, alone, and left visibly shaken. She looked like she had seen a ghost. They said her team rushed her out and the car sped off like they were being chased. Nothing in the press. Not a single photo from that night. Just a line in an internal call sheet. Special RSVP, no names. We can't say what happened, but something did because early after that. Her music shifted. Her voice was the same, but the messages got colder, sharper. The transformation may have cost her. Critics have long said Beyoncé's public persona feels inhuman, too polished, too smooth. But what if that's the point? What if the real Beyoncé was buried somewhere beneath layers of expectation, obligation, and strategy?
all appears calm and normal until Solange Knowles, Beyoncé's sister, lunges at her brother.
A former studio engineer once noted that every time Jay-Z entered the room, the atmosphere changed. She would straighten her back, change her tone, watch his face before she spoke. It wasn't trance, it was surveillance. And now, even her own family may be questioning what's happening behind those mansion walls. Enter Solange. We all remember it. The elevator, the kick, the slap, the tension, and the eerie stillness from Beyoncé, standing there like a statue while her younger sister unleashed a fury that had clearly been boiling for longer than one fancy day. 4 months after, the narrative air arguments before they even left the Met Gala, and one particularly bold rumor circulated by a former Roc Nation intern claimed that Solange confronted Jay about crossing a line that should never be crossed. The specifics never disclosed, but it's been said she had just learned something disturbing, something tied not to business, but to behavior. And Beyoncé's refusal to act may have been the final straw. When Solange lunged, she wasn't just angry, she was desperate. Maybe trying to shock her sister out of compliance. Trying to embarrass Jay-Z in a way no camera or courtroom ever could. Her mouth was just as suspicious. Public statements were vague. We've worked kid through it. We've moved forward. No explanations, no clarity. And most telling of all, no apologies. Bey and Sarah released a remix soon after with the lean, of course. Sometimes things go down when there's $1 billion on the elevator. That wasn't a lyric.
Oh, no, that was it. No, when I get nervous, I tell the truth.
That was a clue. A signal that even inside a most luxurious cage, cracks were beginning to form. And yet, despite it all, the show has never stopped. The twins arrived. More albums, more tours. But every so often, something slips. DC stare in a backstage photo. The moment, Beyoncé visibly pulled away from Jay-Z during a red carpet appearance. The solo trips. The haircut. Remember that, the sudden pixie cut in 2013. A moment she later described as an emotional transformation. Fans thought it was just style, but Beyoncé herself said it was rebellion. If PR can extinguish them. That Blue Ivy's early spotlight was part of a long-game branding scheme. That Beyoncé's creative control is more limited than that even her appearances with Jay-Z are sometimes contractual. One leaked document from a luxury event organizer suggested that'll public if facing appearances of Mr. Dodd and Mrs. Carter must be pre-approved by Rick Legal and conform to image guidelines. They weren't attending as a couple. They were fulfilling a clause. For years, Beyonce